I'm live at Club Cafe. I'm Jesse Malin, the next stage in music.
Tonight on Live at Club Cafe, Jesse Malin. He soared to the heights of the music industry, and it's been great, but he admits that the biz has its quirks.
The music industry is a shallow money pit, a long plastic hallway where pimps and thieves run free and good men die like dogs. There's also a negative side.
Plus, Shivaree. She's got a sultry sound and provocative lyrics that she's honed since she was a kid.
My brothers were both very heavy metal. We had a Marshall stack in the living room, and every morning at about 6:30, they would play Crazy Train at least 700 times. That was a good time. Fantastic.
Two great artists, one great night. You're watching Live at Club Cafe, the next stage in music. Hi, my name's Mara McFalls, and we are at Club Cafe on Pittsburgh's South Side. Kicking off tonight's show, we've got Jesse Malin. Now, Jesse's a New York rock star. He's from Queens, he's edgy, he's got attitude. He started off in the punk band called D Generation, but now he's gone solo, he's lost his gloss, but he hasn't lost that New York attitude. And we've got him here tonight, live at Club Cafe, the next stage in music.
The sun goes down over Hyde Park. Can't see her just standing by. Lean my back across the pond. All my friends are dads and moms. Call me up, call me up, call me up, Columbia. Call me up, call me up, call me up, Columbia. Have you gone so far? You don't need love.
I grew up in Queens, I guess, in the late 70s, early 80s, and my first musical experience was getting dressed up as Kiss for the public school talent show. And I wrapped myself up in tin foil and wear my mother's platform shoes and makeup, and I spit ketchup as at the kids as Gene Simmons, and everybody seemed to relate to that, so I was like, oh, this is fun, I'm hooked. And then I got into punk because I got tired of sitting there trying to learn every Jimmy Page riff and every Van Halen lick, and I was like, wow, 3 chords, I can go write a song, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols. And also I think Kiss had a certain energy and a certain anger, and my parents had split up, and I got into like Bruce Lee and Kung Fu, and I was kind of mad at the world and getting thrown out of school all the time, and my mom was always working, so all this hyper energy really felt really good with Kiss and all their fire and blood. But when I saw the Sex Pistols on TV, I was like, wow, this is even more real, and it made me want to just wreck my room, and like I felt like I wasn't alone, being a little different than the mainstream kids in the suburban, borough of Queens. And then got pretty heavily into punk rock, formed a band called Heart Attack, which was a hardcore band. I guess I was 14 or 15. I did a few other bands, and then formed D Generation in Manhattan in the early 90s.
D Generation started off packing New York City clubs like the Continental and CBGB's with their unique brand of melodic, punk-inspired rock and roll.
We kind of came out of a party scene from this club called Green Door that we used to DJ at. And then one day we played at one of them, and suddenly the band was formed. After trying so hard with all these different bands taking it serious, we decided, let's just do something fun. And that kind of clicked, and we felt like this is going on. And it was people that I'd grown up with, that I'd known since I was 13 or 14. So it was like a gang, and there's something really great about being the leader of a gang, but also being in that and having that camaraderie where you can run down the street together. And then you can have a fight over what photo to use, and it's like a 5-way marriage gone to hell. So there's another side of it when you're a control freak, songwriter.
Steven said marijuana down to the prima donnas, metal keep the counterculture 9/11, baby, home. Party's waiting to retire, smoking like a forest fire, putting on the panties and the lipstick. This mother's smoke, we need you, buddy. Nothing to do. Nothing to lose. And if you work your life away, we'll send you flowers every day and make your departure, baby, and you die.
I would DJ at parties, or do whatever you could. Like we'd try to DJ at clubs or go up to the record companies when they still had a lot of excess and get tons of CDs and go, yeah, I'm a fan of Rod Stewart and Jethro Tull and Harry Chapin, and then run down to the record stores and sell them so you could eat for a week, or whatever you could do to stay out of, like, God, I worked at, selling telemarketing. You're calling people up, selling correction tapes for typewriters, and I just didn't last. And health food stores, there's people, the most neurotic people. I'm a vegetarian, but the most, anal, neurotic, crazy people are health food people. Like, what ingredient is this, and what's in there? I'm like, lady, just, it's clean, it's vitamin C, But you deal with a lot of funny stuff when you're trying to survive. And one of the things I'm grateful of today is that I don't have to work in the morning. Every day, even though I'm out here and we're staying sometimes at crappy hotels and eating Subway with the plastic gloves, making us the sandwich, or sitting in some dressing room that smells like piss. Not this place, but is that I don't have to get up and go to work at some stupid job I hate, and then I get free beer, and people come and don't tell me to shut up most of the time.
They call me punk rock, think they're cute. The pizza balls, they keep on staring. I guess they finally made it off their stool. I don't even know, and I don't even care. I don't even know, and I don't even care. I don't even know, and I don't even care. Oh yeah. Since I've been hanging around, machines go up and down. Spray paint gospel on the beat. Another billboard reach, coming to Miami Beach. A man sells pencils in the heat, riding on the subway.
Over the years, Jesse's worked with some great artists like Bruce Springsteen, Ryan Adams, and Green Day. But it was his relationship with punk legend Joey Ramone that had the most profound effect on him and his career.
People in this business that have been playing on the road for 25 years, you find out that, they're jaded, or they have some vice or some other thing. Maybe it's money, maybe it's sex, maybe it's drugs, or all of it. Joey was, rock and roll was his MO, and it was just really beautiful to see. He was an awkward kind of character that kept himself, but when he opened up to you, he had just a big heart. And I had his support when I got dropped from D-Generation's last record deal. There was 3 years in between that I just wrote, which would become Fine Art of Self-Destruction. Played around locally a lot in different bands, growing up in public, PCP Highway, Bellevue, Sing Sing, all these different things in the New York club scene. Went back to square one, and I had no money, and Joey Ramone lent me some money, which was just really damn cool. And I was with him in the end, and it was just a guy who was fighting right till the end in the hospital. I've never seen such spirit, and I think of him all the time.
The big bird flying across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes, leave us helpless, helpless, helpless.
We would start to sing Helpless, and I would talk about just the feeling coming up to the election and getting people to kind of sing along. And then we played New York, and it was September 11th, and my agent called me and said, do you want to play on this date? And I said, well, that's kind of weird. I've been waiting to play New York at the Bowery Ballroom for a while, and it's a Saturday night. And at first I was like, no, and then it hit me, like, of course you got to play. Like, we can't let, then they win, then the bad guys win if we don't, keep living life. So we booked the show, and it was a sellout, and I wanted to do some kind of tribute. And being I was a New Yorker and had some friends that were down there, we did Helpless.
One more time for Neil Young.
Helpless, helpless, helpless.
All right, that'll suffice. It's a snowstorm. Helpless, helpless, helpless.
I just feel that it's rock and roll. For me, the best singer-songwriters were Jagger and Richards and Lennon McCartney and Paul Westerberg and Mick Jones and Joe Strummer. So, to me, when they say singer-songwriter, I picture I'm sitting down on a stool with Hush Puppies and I'm finger-picking, and it's something, and whatever. Is it emo-core? Am I emotional? Am I hard? It's like whatever it is. Alternative country, do I beat my acoustic guitar with a screwdriver? No, it's songs, and it's not, rocket science. But I don't take it that serious to the point where I don't think it's rock and roll. And Maybe because I come from a punk background, there's that edge in there, but I'm trying to find a new genre for myself. Maybe some interplanetary, Judeo-Christian, you know, spirulina rock.
But you mighty go high and you're tender low, low. Second hand blues and money to blow. When you get tired and rested, there's something you should know. You're always in my soul.
Jesse Malin's latest CD, The Heat, is in stores now. You can check out more about him on our website at clubcafelive.com. Now stay tuned, because coming up next is Shivaree, live at Club Cafe, the next stage in music.
Live at Club Cafe is powered by Comcast and sponsored by Budweiser True Music and Saturn of Wexford, Saturn of West Liberty, and Saturn of Pleasant Hills.
Hi, I'm Rosemary Welsh, live at Club Cafe from the WYEP studios, and I've brought you some CDs that I've been listening to. John Doe is a member of the quintessential LA punk band X. His new release, Forever, hasn't happened yet. It's not a punk rock record, but the sensibility of punk is there in the themes ranging from sex to drugs to alienation. Now, speaking of intense, Louisiana native Mary Gaucher returns with a stellar album. It's called Mercy Now. No one writes a song as brutally honest as Gaucher. Chiranga Cakewalk is the project of multi-instrumentalist Michael Ramos. Ramos did a stint with the band The Bodines and has been recording and touring with Patty Griffin. Loteria de la Cumbia Lounge is his experimental exploration of Latin music. Ramos slips in enough twists and turns and humor to keep you guessing where he's going next. My guess is you're going to the dance floor. Well, that's a taste of some of the music you'll catch at 91.3 WYEP. That's independent public radio right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm Rosemary Welsh, and now back to Live at Club Cafe.
Welcome back. Our guests tonight are a trippy torch song band who got their name from the French word for a drunken serenade, which is right up Quentin Tarantino's alley. He borrowed their song Goodnight Moon for his movie Kill Bill Volume 2. And Al Franken nabbed the lead singer to sing the news on his radio show Air America. But politics and Hollywood aside, tonight we are proud to bring you Shivaree, live at Club Cafe, the next stage in music.
Oh, I'll play my part. I'll say never ever again, then cross my heart, cry and tell you, say when I lit out cheat while you turn away. Things will repeat one more time, day after day. I've lost my appetite, so nonetheless, if it's like a glove now, my little black face.
Eventually I ended up in a band, but that even was an accident too. I met Danny at a party, and he was one of my favorite musicians in LA. I always just loved going and seeing him play and whatever he was doing, and he said, you know, why don't we go record some of these songs that you have over at a friend of mine's house. He's got a little home studio. And we went over there, and Duke happened to be staying in the spare bedroom. And eventually that night we all just sort of came together, and we even wrote a song that night, a new one that night. And it's been almost 10 years. We just never stopped. But I was pretty much dragged kicking and screaming by those two on stage. I was so nervous and so scared to play in front of an audience that I sat in a chair for the first year and a half or 2 years. I couldn't even stand up.
Get it, old boy, it's time to go. Voulez-vous savoir the love below? Brother, I've got more than you can take, but more than I can do to stay away. I close my eyes so I can dream of ways to keep you occupied, so I can lock you up, well keep it classified. Alright, you're mine tonight, son, when
Shivaree's first album, titled I Oughta Give Ya a Shot in the Head for Making Me Live in This Dump, caught hold in Europe, and it launched the band on its first international tour.
It came out in '99, and I guess 4 or 5 months later, it just started working in France. Yay, France! So, and then they used a song off the record in a watch commercial in Italy, and so then we could go work in Italy and Portugal and just all the yummy food countries with the good wine and the cigarettes. So we were not complaining.
I wrote your name on the wall next to my bed. In the day that I saw you at all was circled in red. What they said was a man drifted over the line. Drove you away and a little girl out of her mind. And the rain.
Stick around, because there's more from Shivaree coming up next.
Please take me out of here so we can have a ball.
I was watching Casablanca one day. It was a rainy day, and I love that song, Knock on Wood, that Sam sings. It's the first number in the bar. It's Who's Got Trouble? And the bar screams, We've got trouble, you know? And there's Nazis running around, and everybody's freaked out and paranoid and scared, and I thought, oh, this is all very familiar. Oh no, are we here again? Do we have this trouble again? And Danny had just sent me a little piece of music that, you know, sometimes he'll just send me bits and bobs and just scraps, and what do you do something with this? Put them, you know, and I thought, where is that thing? And I wrote New Casablanca.
Who's got trouble? We've got trouble. Go ahead, make mine a double. I do declare I'm in a state, and I just can't.
When I'm by myself, I write lyrics and melody, and I'll sing it over and over and over again until it feels correct and arranged and complete. And if it sounds good, you know, when you're singing it a cappella in the shower or in the car, then it seems like it then deserves to have music. And I can give it to Duke and Danny like a naked doll, and they'll put clothes on it.
Out of this creative process came the band's new album, Who's Got Trouble? It caught the attention of Troy Hansbrough at Rounder Records, and he quickly signed Shivaree to a record deal.
He said, I like what you do. You guys can do whatever you want. You do whatever you want. You don't even have to play it for me if you don't want to. And I said, fine. You know, let's just hunt off. Fine, let's go, easy. And it has been. And he stood by everything he said. And he's, you know, there are human beings that work in the record business. Who knew?
Ambrosia found family with Shivaree and Rounder Records, but in her spare time, she sings the news on a left-leaning political radio show.
George loves Jesus and cocaine, but has some doubts about the weed.
You can catch Ambrosia singing the news on Air America and get Shivaree's latest CD called Who's Got Trouble, out on Rounder Records. To find out more information about either of these things, you can check out our website at clubcafelive.com. And now it's time to catch the buzz. Each week we bring you the buzz section to help tap you into some of the great new music that's out there. Now let's take a look at some of the CDs that have come out this week. Jack Johnson. Now you can just feel this soulful surfer kicking back with his guitar and some of his good friends when you listen to his latest CD, In Between Dreams. Kathleen Edwards. This alt-country Canadian rocker is back with a follow-up to her hugely successful first album, Thaler. Now this time around she brings us Back to Me, and I think you're going to enjoy this new amped-up sound. You can check out Amos Lee's self-titled debut CD. It's chock full of coffeehouse soul. Some people call him the male version of a Norah Jones, and Norah even plays on some of the cuts. So go pick up his CD, or if you're lucky you can catch him on tour. He's out this summer with Dylan. The Blind Boys of Alabama are back. This gaggle of gospel greats brings it to a new generation, playing with guys like Ben Harper and Robert Randolph. And they keep turning on a wider audience with their latest studio album, Atom Bomb. There's a lot of new stuff coming out this week, but unfortunately you can't hear most of it on mainstream radio. But in Pittsburgh, we are lucky we've got WYEP 91.3 FM. It's AAA radio, which is some of the last free-form radio in the country, where DJs actually get to play what they want to play. So check out WYEP, or you can go to AAAradio.com and find other stations like KCRW in LA, or Kank up in Portland, or KGSR over in Austin. There are a bunch of these stations all across the country, and you can even have them streamed right to your computer. You gotta love technology. Now go check them out. When we come back, we're gonna dip into the Club Cafe archives for a special performance you're not gonna wanna miss. We'll be back in a minute.
This Buzz segment was brought to you by Saturn of Wexford, Saturn of West Liberty, and Saturn of Pleasant Hills. Saturn, people first. Budweiser True Music presents A Moment in Time from the Club Cafe archives.
Too quick for the old, too slow for the young. Oh, but just when you need it to pick up the pace. Lingers with heartache, stays in one place. But you tell me that time is all, and that will make it alright. You tell me we can make this so easy if we think of this night like it was a thunderstorm passing or a bird in flight, and I could learn to think that way too. If goodbye was a moment, if this moment was lightning, if your heart was an open window, if these teardrops had wings, yes, Lord.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Now let's check out a preview of next week's show. Coming up next week, the Holmes Brothers. They've been playing gospel and blues together for 33 years. And the Bad Plus. This jazz trio is out making some of the freshest music around. I'm Mara McFalls. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
When you're all alone just any old night and you're feeling out of tune, just pick up your hat, close up your flat, get out and get under the moon.
That's it. That's all I do with these things, you know. Here. Where's the baseball?